recordings. Oh, that's new. Okay. So thank you, everyone. We're going to try to make this quick and simple, but the most important slide of all is going to be, well, second to most important, Mr. Hoogenboom, sorry. The slide for the teachers is going to be more important, but you're going to come first.
Well, I've often said that the students are the most important people in the building, and the teachers who have the day-to-day interaction with the students are the second most important people in the building. And all the rest of us are there to support the teachers and the students in creating a true learning atmosphere, an atmosphere where everyone is cared for as a genuine human being. I've had a great week. It was a great week because of yesterday. We had ninth grade orientation for the ninth graders who've been accepted at Lincoln, and we were going to have it out in the parking lot. We were afraid of thunderstorms, so we're going to have the new parents and the new students just meet the various teachers at various stations in the parking lot and go inside the building for tours. Well, instead we moved inside the building, people wearing masks, and just to see so many people in the building, the noise in the halls, it was a wonderful. This has been a very, very hard year for all of us, for all kinds of different ways. And just on the simple level, it's been hard not seeing the students, not seeing. We're going to have a group of 10th graders and ninth graders who many of them will be new to Lincoln. And if I could actually snap my fingers and move right to September, I would, because it's going to be so wonderful seeing everyone again, being a bustling school one more time. So right now, all I really have to report to the PTA, besides a thank you, the PTA had this wonderful table last night. They got a lot of names of the new ninth grade families. And maybe I should just talk about some of the advantages, right? There's always a silver lining. And one of the things we discovered is that through Zoom, more people are able to attend meetings. We're going to try to keep on offering those options to parents because it does increase the participation. It's very, very hard sometimes to get out for the PTA meeting, to actually go to the school. And so it is a wonderful option. So I'm not saying there haven't been good things, good tangential things about the pandemic, learning to work online. I mean, your children are awesome on Microsoft Teams. They've really mastered it. They're able to interact on chat with their teacher in a private way. There's many, many good things, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great coming back in September. We're organizing graduation now. It's going to be a double event because of the COVID restrictions. We can't graduate everyone at once. So there's going to be an A graduation and a B graduation. And of course, I was saying to the SLT, I'm sure that the night before the graduation, we'll find out that some of the restrictions have been lifted and we really could all graduate together. So there'll be chaos. But we are gradually getting back to normal. I want to salute the parents for a very, very difficult year. If you wanted to homeschool your child, you would have already been doing it. I want to salute the teachers who have knocked themselves out to present exciting asynchronous lessons where the students can really interact with the material. And I want to thank the assistant principals and the guidance counselors and the social workers who have really been keeping track of absolutely everything. And that's about all I have to say. Mrs. Scott, are you going to have questions for me? If so, I might have technical difficulties, but I might be able to answer some of them.
I will leave that open for the floor for the parents that are on. We do have a list of questions that were answered by Mr. Robinson, but some of the parents that are on here right now may have specific questions. So I'll leave it up for them.
So if you have a question that you would rather remain anonymous, you can just use the chat function and send the question to me. And then I will ask the questions or read it out. And that's true for Mr. Hoogenboom or any other question that you might have. You can always put them in the chat to everyone and they can be read for you, or you can just send them to just to me in the chat, and then I will read the question out.
And please feel free to ask anything. I mean, I love talking about Lincoln, and when I don't know, I just say I don't know, and we'll find out the answer for you.
I have one question, actually, Mr. Hoogenboom. Just, and you'll probably say I don't know, but do we have any idea of a time frame when we'll find out what September will look like for return to school?
Knowing Mayor de Blasio, no. And it's obvious that he's the chancellor, that he's the one calling the shots. So no, obviously though, we're going to let you know as soon as possible. I think we can make some assumptions, which is that all the teachers are expected to come back. We're not planning on having any of they've said no to any of the accommodations. All the students are expected to come back. Whether we will have a 3-foot rule in place, what the mask situation will be, I really have no idea, but of course we'll let you know as soon as possible.
Thanks.
Miss Medina, go ahead. I see your hand is raised.
Thank you. I have a similar question or something along the same lines. I wanted to know, I know it's very new, the funding that all the schools are going to be getting. I attended Chancellor Porter's forum, and she asked for parents to email, or just the community at large, to email ideas of how they can use this funding. How do you plan to, or do you plan to involve the parents in that discussion?
Yes, we plan to involve the school leadership team in the discussion of the extra funding. I'm always a little bit suspicious. According to the True Fair Student Funding, we are entitled to more money, about 300,000 more, I believe. That sounds a little bit more impressive than it is. That really amounts to a bit less than 4 teacher lines. What we want to spend our extra money on is really what I'm most concerned about, which is reintegrating students into the high school atmosphere, the social emotional, everyone is suffering from a certain form of PTSD. It's fairly mild PTSD, but that doesn't mean it doesn't really exist. So, we were just talking about in the SLT, we want to provide counselors and teachers to be, the term we're using is Lincoln shepherds. The idea of really focusing on a group of maybe 150 students to make sure they're okay, make sure their work habits are well developed, make sure they understand the balance between play, home, school. And we're also talking about training more teachers. We have over half of our teachers trained in restorative practices. And a lot of this has to do with what they call circles, where you sit in circles and you talk about things. You sometimes pass a talking piece around. The other thing that we really want to emphasize is college readiness. And we want to start with the 9th grade. Sometimes you get a bit careless. You say to the 9th graders, oh, it's good to join a club, your classes count, but we don't really emphasize it in a daily thing. And as you know, if you don't remind people of something every day, and that's students or adults, if you're not reminded of something every day, it tends to slide. And often the idea of what do I do after Lincoln? What's my life like after Lincoln? Often that slides until the second half of the junior year, when it becomes, oh no, oh my goodness. And we really want to push some resources into the 9th and the 10th grade to help kids get better. So those are our preliminary ideas of how any extra money will be spent. There's also devices. I think what we learned in the pandemic is that students really are better off if every student has a device, and if every student, what we're planning on in September is that every student will bring that device to school, that it will be used in school. And I just want to give you a hypothetical. So you're sitting in a math class or any other class, a social studies class, and let's just very broadly say that half the students really understand whatever the materials. And let's say a third of the students really understand it. A third of the students are pretty confused. And then there's a third who are right around where you think they ought to be. Now, with every student having a device, all at once, we can do some extraordinary work there. The students who are having a little bit of trouble can review some material, maybe a video with an annotation or something to better understand. The students who really understand the material well can get some extension activity. The students who are kind of in the middle maybe can meet with the teacher, or it can be some other way. But if we have every student with a device, the device being something that they can use, that it's not like grandpa's old laptop or something, then we can really do exciting things educationally. But of course, maintaining computers is an ongoing thing, and we'll have to also throw some money and some resources into that. We have already upgraded our Wi-Fi capacity so that this is doable. We had it upgraded in the spring, and fortunately, because we're a Microsoft Showcase school, we were able to get to the front of the queue in that. I hope that gives you some idea of how we're envisioning spending the potential extra money.
Yes, that is super helpful. Thank you. And I know that $300,000 for a big school is not a lot of money. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you remember when Sarah Palin was running for vice president? I figured out that our budget was larger than her budget when she was the mayor in Alaska. But then again, our discretionary funding is minimal because a lot of our money just goes straight to salaries.
Mr. Hoogenboom, we got a couple questions in the chat. One is, do you have any information to share about Summer Rising as well as Summer Bridge for upcoming sophomores?
Yes, Summer Bridge, we're doing Summer Bridge for both incoming 9th graders and 10th graders and rising 10th graders. And you'll be getting more specific information about that, but that's a definite yes. The Summer Rising, it sounds exciting because we are going to, it seems like funds will be given. We have, every subject is going to have at least one enrichment class. So if any student who wants to come to summer school is able to come to summer school and take the one or two of the enrichment classes that are being offered. The traditional summer school students, of course, are those who have fallen behind or need some help in a subject. That will continue also. Now, for NXs, what we have planned is that all NX classes and work will be done online, so it can be done remotely. But we're really pushing for every NX student to come in twice a week to review the material, to go over the material with a teacher. Because I think that, look, we work better when other people are there. We work better when you can just say, hey, I'm having trouble here on this problem. And so those are our broad plans for Summer Rising, right? A bridge program, NX support coming in for NX support, enrichment classes, and also the traditional summer school classes for, say, a student who needs an algebra class or something like that.
Mr. Hoogenboom, do you know if there will be sports as part of Summer Rising?
Well, they've changed the name of the Big Apple program, but PSAL has it'll still be a program. PSAL has traditionally run an afternoon Big Apple program, they've called it, where we have sports both for younger students, but also for older students. And it's usually an afternoon program. Now in summer school, we do have phys ed classes. Students can only take one phys ed class because of, for safety reasons. It's pretty hot and we don't want a student to have to take 2 phys ed classes in a row.
Thank you. So just to confirm, like students will be able to do enrichment classes remotely for credit?
No, not remotely.
No,
the
not
enrichment
remotely. It will have
classes
to be in person?
will be coming in. Yeah. We're really, the only classes that will be remote will be the NX, the students making up NXs can work remotely, but everything else will be in person. We really want students to get used to the idea of showing up again.
I have another question. If the class size is now 3 feet, which is what it is currently, how many students fit in the classroom with 3 feet of distance?
We're talking, and I'm being a little bit rough here. I might go up or down 1 or 2, but about 24 students in each classroom. So, and the traditional class size per the contract is 34. So it'd be approximately 10 students less in every class, which if you are concerned about class size, and many people are, it's kind of good news, right? 24 students.
Me with a good time there. You're like, oh yeah, well, that sounds awful. Goodness, classes of 24. What will we do?
Maybe everyone will learn. Who knows, right?
Wow, that sounds. I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I also have another question. Should
hold on.
return?
I see that Yanar has his hand up. I believe.
Yes.
I see that Yanar has their hand up. Can you do you have a question?
Yeah, mine was on the NX makeup for the summer. Is it sort of like now where they do some amount of work, they make it up and they're good, or do they have to like keep coming the whole summer regardless?
No. Once the student does make up the work successfully, and sometimes all that means is sometimes strapping yourself into a chair in front of a device and churning out some work for 4 hours. So yeah, once the student does complete that, the student will be back in their family's hair.
All right. The next question on the chat is, should students return devices before school close, or should they hold on to them to be used in September?
You always make me feel so guilty, because I was in a meeting on Tuesday where that very question was discussed and I totally zoned out. So I don't know. Oh, you have an answer? Oh,
Ms.
go,
Mohammed,
Ms. Mohammed.
So I had talked to Ms. Dilio. Ms. Dilio said that only the students with that are graduating should be returning the devices, and the rest can hold on to them until September.
What if
Ms.
they're
Mohammed.
transferring from the school? I would assume they should return.
I mean, yeah, that is different. Like as far as if they're returning, as per what she said only graduating seniors will be returning devices to the school once they have completed all their the coursework. They can return the devices from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They simply come to the main entrance with the device, including the chargers, charging cables and case, and ask for Ms. Dilio. And then the security guard will contact her, and she'll go down and get the devices.
Mrs. Mohammed, what's the name of the person?
Ms. Dilio, I'm gonna put her.
Ms. Dilio, D-I-L-E-O.
Thank you.
And the front desk knows. So if a student does come and say, I have to return the device to somebody, there'll be no problem. Now,
Yeah.
my understanding is a transfer. So let's say students finish the 10th grade and decide to go to another school. They should also return the device. But the good news is that incoming 8th graders are not supposed to return their device to their middle school. They are supposed to bring the device to their high school. We'll see, to what extent that happens, but we really want to, we had a dream to go 1-to-1 in terms of devices for students, and the pandemic has pushed that dream forward. So it will be reality in September.
Okay. Ms. Attwood, just ask the last two questions I believe that Ms. Meadows has, because then Mr. Hoogenboom has to go to his next meeting.
Of course. So there are just two questions, and they're really about enrichment classes. So you answered the one about enrichment classes over the summer rising, like whether that's remote or not, and you answered no. The next question is, would a child be able to take enrichment classes and then leave school early next year?
Well, I think that's really on a case-by-case basis, because some of these enrichment classes will count in terms of, when you look at the credits necessary for graduation. We're going to offer a social studies enrichment class, but that's not going to be in the H1 through 8 sequence that students do have to take in order to graduate. So, we often have seniors who do not have all that heavy a course load because they've really been doing the work in the 9th, 10th, and the 11th grade. So it would be a case-by-case basis, but don't totally count on it, because these enrichment classes are quite literally meant to be fun classes that take you places where they're not necessarily going to count for your English sequence or your social studies sequence. They will count, though. You have to have a certain number of elective classes in order to graduate, and they of course will count for that.
Thank you, Mr. Hoogenboom. I don't think we have more questions for you at this time. So, Ms. Scott?
No, thank you, Mr. Hoogenboom, for attending the meeting. We look forward to seeing you next year at every single PTA meeting. And I want to thank you so much for the Lincoln log. You have no idea how happy I am to see that on every other month, and for spoiling us these last 2 months by providing them back to back.
Okay, I must tell the rest of you that Mrs. Scott is like a mother substitute for me. She makes me do things that I don't want to do, but then I end up really, really enjoying doing them.
No, it's not
that's-
that you
and
don't
that's
want
what-
to. You
That's
you
what the
do
Lincoln
want
log
to.
is.
It's just very tedious and time
Well,
consuming.
once I start, because for those of you who've seen the Lincoln log, I try to highlight a particular department and a teacher or two in that department, and it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to write about the exciting things that the various departments are doing and the amazing thing that the individual teachers are doing. So, thank you, Mrs. Scott, and thank you for your leadership this last year as the PTA president.
Thank you, and don't worry, you'll be hearing from us over the summer.
Good. I do look forward to it. Thank you.
Keep us posted about this evening's orientation. We'd love to hear from it. I know it was very successful last night, and we look forward to hearing about how successful tonight's virtual will be.
Okay, definitely. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, moving on. We have a quick Regents update. Ms. Brown, if you could take the floor.
Okay. I'm being unmuted now. Okay, so the Regents update, guidance and opt-in, excuse me. This June, only 4 Regents subject exam will be administered: Algebra 1, English Language Arts, Living Environment, and Earth Science. There'll be no additional Regents administration scheduled for August. Waivers available for all Regents exams. subjects, including the 4 being administered in person. All the students are eligible for the Regents exam waiver if they pass the class sequence leading to the exam. A student does not have to sit for an in-person exam to earn a waiver. The opt-in period closed. It was May 28th. And if you would like for your child to sit in an in-person exam, there's steps to follow. And there at the bottom, it says check your child's pupil path course listing. Regents exams are listed there. And if you can see your child is eligible for one of the 4 in-person Regents exams, then you check the school website, the news section for details on how to register for in-person exams or to find out more information on Regents waiver eligibility. And on the website, that's the letter that's posted by the principal's letter on the school's website. Anyone have any questions or any concerns? You can put in a chat, of course, and we'll definitely answer them if you can. If not, we'll definitely make sure you get an answer to the question. I think that's pretty much it.
Could either Mr. Capizzo or Yanar discuss about what it means by class sequence for passing?
Sure, class sequence. So for an example, like in English, right, it goes English 1, English 2, you take English 1 and English 2 in 9th grade, English 3 and English 4 in 10th grade, English 5, English 6 in 11th, and English 7 and 8 in 12th. So sequence means going in order, okay? So for algebra, for an example, you have a fall and a spring semester. So to get the waiver, you would have to pass both the fall and the spring semester in order for you to be able to get the Regents waiver. That's how the sequencing works. For math, it goes algebra, geometry, algebra 2 as the requirements. For social studies, where in our school we do economics, and then we go into global in 10th grade, and then we do US history in 11th, and then 12th grade. Government is also in 9th grade as well. So like that's the sequence. Yanar, you can also talk about, what's the science sequence, I guess.
Right. So for like my classes specifically, a student would get a waiver for the chemistry Regents if they passed the first half of the year for chemistry and the second half of the year for chemistry. So same as what Mr. Capizzo was saying. On the report card, that last column, the MP4, if it has a number, great. If it has an NX, not great. There's still time for that. And I guess I can say more about that during that slide, the teacher slide.
I know during the SLT meeting, they mentioned that nobody signed up for language arts. And there was a small number, I believe, under 20 for each of the other Regents exams. Is that correct?
Correct.
I believe it was 11 and 12, right?
Yeah, so ELA, there's no Regent. The Regents is for history is only for global and US history. Just whoever just posted that question. Yeah, so the right now what we have, no one signed up for ELA. I think we have 2 students for earth science, about 12 for one, I think Yanar just said is 1, 12 for algebra, and living environment. Anything on that, Yanar? No idea. Okay, so it looks like our biggest exam may be just algebra, and half of them are my kids. So perfect job by my guess.
Yeah, there was a number. I did not write it down, but
Yeah.
there were a few people who registered for living environment. It was language arts. Nobody touched it.
Yeah, right. But again, it doesn't hurt. They want to sign up for it, they can. They get the waiver no matter what. I think it's more, I was more pushing it for my kids specifically to take them if they were in person, because I was focusing with them a lot more, and just giving them more of an opportunity to be like, listen, you get the first taste of what it's like to take a Regent. Some of our kids in our building, will be next year as a junior, might be their first time where they're going to be taking a state exam in a Regent setting. So, I felt like it would be, I personally, I felt like, giving them an opportunity to take it. No, there was only one that signed up for earth science. We don't know the number for living environment, Ms. Sandor. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and that's pretty much how that works. And just to give everyone a heads up, in order to graduate high school, okay, your child needs 5 specific regions exams. They need 1 math, 1 science, both history, which is global and US, and ELA. As long as they get that, in our school, we want them to get Algebra 1 and living environment, because that's what we feel are the most important of the subjects first, especially since Algebra 1 and living environment is the first one out of the gate when they're in 9th grade. So, but that is the requirements. Everything else that you pass on top is gravy and can be applied to the Advanced Regents Diploma.
All right, anybody else have any other questions? If not, we'll move on.
I have a question. I was wondering if any of the teachers here know anything about the College Now or the Syracuse University programs, like if they'll be offered in the fall with the return of students.
Good question. I believe like the College Now, you're talking about like when we used to do the college classes that were in the building. That was back a couple of years ago, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah. From my understanding, I think they're still going on, but I haven't heard any word on them not happening. But from my understanding, they should be coming back, especially since we are, we're one of the few schools that does do that program. And then I think Ms. Sandor, you asked a question about, or Ms. Meadows, you asked a question about for advanced regions, do you have to have certain classes? So the certain classes are that pretty much like anything that results in a regent, any class, which you should see on the sheet that's listed there. So like Algebra 2, geometry, chemistry, physics, and foreign language. Those are extra regents exams that get applied for the Advanced Regents Diploma. So that's those extra exams, and earth science, or I think you have to have 3 sciences to get the Advanced Regents Diploma. So that could be a combination of living environment, earth science, chemistry, or physics. You need to have those 3 out of the 4. And for math, you got to have all 3. I know that for a fact. And you have to have a foreign language involved, which we do foreign language. We have Spanish in our school. So that's how you get the Advanced Regents Diploma, which is just, an extra, thing.
How many, is there an, I'm sorry, I just have a question. Is there a number of courses, of regions that you have to take for that Advanced Regents Diploma?
So pretty much, yeah. So by the time you reach your junior year, as long as you haven't failed a Regents, you'll be able to take all of the courses that would get you to get the Advanced Regents Diploma. So like by the end of your junior year, you will have taken all 3 maths, all 3 sciences. You'll have taken both histories, and you've also getting yourself ready for like the foreign language exam as well.
And Yanar was kind enough to go and post information in reference to the Regents Diploma as well as the link. Thank you.
So they reduced it. It used to be a lot harder, but I guess they made it a lot easier. Thank you, Yanar.
I was gonna say, thinking back to like my own high school, I remembered it being more, and I'm always afraid to like say anything on recording, like let me have a link to back it up.
Yeah, I used to remember it was everything, but now they've been a little bit easier, so that's good.
And then
They
as far
actually
as
made a new one where it's 4+1, so you only need 4 regions plus 1. And it doesn't matter. Back when we went to school, it was the actual, like the global, the math, the science, and the US. And foreign language for if you're doing the LOTE exam. But yeah, they've reduced it tremendously.
On the College Now question, I know that there were College Now classes this year. They were just done remotely and asynchronously. So I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be there in the future. I guess it's just a matter of like which form they're taking, if it's continuing remotely or going back to in person in the mornings like they were before.
Oh, okay. So do you know, like, is there, my older son, he participated in the Syracuse University program, and I know one of his teachers recommended him for it. But if your child wasn't recommended for it, but you want, your child to participate in something like that, is there another avenue, or is it recommendation only? Did you understand? I'm sorry.
I don't think that it's recommendation only. Just from what I hear in the office, I hear like, they need a certain number of students to sign up for the class in order for it to run. So, the more, the better in a way.
Right. So I would just need to talk to his guidance counselor if I was interested in, say if the parents are interested in their child participating, is that like a conversation with the guidance counselor?
I would imagine so. And if not the guidance counselor, then I would think the department head for whatever class it is.
Got it.
It's mostly the guidance counselor. They would know if the class is running, or because they sign up the students for the classes, so it would be the guidance counselor.
Okay. Thank you both for the information.
You're welcome.
All right, if there's no further questions, I'm going to move on. All right, I'm going to move on. Thank you. All right, here's the Lincoln log that we were discussing that Mr. Hoogenboom has put together. Normally, he'll put it together every other month. It's something that we just started for this school year, and it seemed to be a success. He tries to go and put the Lincoln log towards a quick message and also highlight either department or a staff member. In this case, he highlighted the science department. So there's a little information in here about Miss Fanning and Miss DeBari. Then there's also some important information, notes, specifically how you can go and get your child's report card, that we had freshman orientation yesterday and today. There's going to be an in-person senior barbecue, something we weren't able to do last year, so that's awesome. For seniors, if there's any seniors on here, they'll also, parents of seniors, there'll also be the distribution of cap, gown, yearbook, and a diploma case. There will also be a virtual award banquet, which the link, if I'm correct, will be posted online, or will it be sent to only the students? Does anybody know?
From my understanding, they should be sent to students, but I would hope that we get it sooner so then Ms. Muhammad can share it with everyone.
Okay. All right, then there's also listing dates.
Wait.
Yes?
I can answer that. Sorry. Okay. It will be posted and everyone can know this. It's going to be, I believe, so they're doing the award ceremony Monday, and they're doing graduation, which is going to be streamed. The award ceremony, they're going to release it. It's through Lincoln Media. We have a YouTube channel called Lincoln Media. Like and subscribe, please. It is going to be where we're going to do the award ceremony. So it's going to be happening this Monday. I believe, if I am correct, it'll be around 6:30 or 6, something around there. If you subscribe, you will know exactly when it gets released, because it's going to be released exactly at that time. And then it's going to be able to be left there so anyone can watch it at any time. Lincoln Media, we've been working with the media department with Mr. Andrews, who has we've been streaming all the games live. I've been announcing it with him. So I can at least give everyone a heads up that in order to watch the award ceremony this Monday, it will be through Lincoln Media on our YouTube channel. So like, comment, and subscribe.
Can you locate that link for us and put it in the chat for those who may not be able to find
Yep.
it? Because I know I had a hard time looking for it.
No problem, no problem. I'll definitely put that in for you all. Go. Yep. Just go here. Yep, I'm gonna post it right now for you guys, so then you can literally like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, we just streamed the baseball game today, and we're gonna be streaming the football game tomorrow. So I don't know if you want to swing by, you can, but yeah, we're going live Monday. Okay, it'll actually give you a ping on your phone when it does officially go live. Okay, so just give everyone a heads up.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
ELA Regions is on the 17th. The last day for school, in-person / remote will be on the 21st.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Just to give everyone a heads up, okay? Monday the 21st, last day. Unless they got a Regents, then they go in when they got to take the Regents, which, as you know, is a very small number to begin with. So next week, we're remote. We're in person Monday and Tuesday. We're remote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday is a Regents Day, so no in-person classes and no remote as well because it's Regents. And then Monday, the 21st, is the last in-person remote day. Okay, that is the story with attendance is concerned. Sorry, Ms. Scott, for cutting
Thank you.
you.
No, because the next thing is going to be graduation.
Yes.
The information is right here, but it's kind of small. So if someone can discuss that. It's still going to be 2 groups. Is that correct? June 24th, same day. One's at 9, one's at 1.
Correct.
And
That's still in place.
the tickets will be distributed to the students tomorrow or later on next week.
I actually don't know the answer to that question. My apology. I don't know when they get their tickets. I assume they should be getting their tickets soon. Yes, I'll speak again just the schedule for next week. So the schedule for next week, okay. The schedule for next week is Monday, Tuesday, in person. Remote is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. No attendance on Thursday because it's a Regents Day. And then the 21st is the last day to take attendance, both in person and remote, because the other days are Regents days. Okay. And then what was your question, Miss Scott, about? Oh yes, graduation. The only thing I know about graduation is, just that they can have a maximum of 2 people, and they have to notify us who the people are that come to the award ceremony, and the person needs to be either vaccinated or had a negative COVID test in the last 72 hours in order to be let in. I know about those things. As far as when they get their tickets are concerned, not 100% about that, but I'm sure they also have to notify the school who's coming. So I think like that type of thing.
Now, on the 21st, that will be the last day that all students would have to check in for attendance.
Correct.
From the 22nd on, they don't do it again until September when it's in person and they don't have to use that website.
Hallelujah.
All right, so to answer the question.
And they have
yes,
until the 24th to turn in their work, though.
Yes. Yeah,
Right?
the 20.
Yeah.
The 20.
So the 21st is the last day of attendance. The 24th is the last day to turn in the work for this year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. But us teachers are not making the 24th be the last day. We're kind of like pushing.
I understand.
To say the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that deadline myself and was like, oh no, if kids are submitting things the
No.
24th and then we're in person the 25th in meetings, when do we actually grade that and give them the credit?
No.
No.
In
No
our
waiting
heads,
till the 24th.
In our heads, we know when it ends, so we tell them.
And the Lincoln logs are also on the Abraham Lincoln website. Okay, if nobody has questions. Oh, one more question.
One more.
So a blended student will come in person next Monday and Tuesday, and then the following Monday.
You got it.
All right. If there's no other questions, we're going to move on. Ms. Sandor?
Oh, this is me. So here are the minutes from the May meeting, which everybody can please take a minute to review. Please note that the minutes are posted on the school website and are always available. And if you need a translation, please reach out to the PTA. We can supply translations on request. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but these are just the minutes of our previous meeting. Ms. Scott, can you just page through them, please? I believe there's 5 pages total.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I do want to address is after our previous meeting, Mr. Robinson did get back to the PTA email box because we had a lingering question about the water testing, the lead testing and the water fountains.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, actually, if you just, if you could go one slide back, he's just reported that he had reached out and the testing information is on the DOE website. And there's this link here. If you'd like to get detailed testing results on all facilities at the school, it lists the results there. So if anyone has any questions, these minutes should be posted on the PTA section of the website shortly. And you can, like I said, reach out for the translations. Can I get these minutes approved? A motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes. This is Mrs. Attwood.
Thank you.
I
There
second
a second?
that. I'll second it.
Thank you. Thank you. The minutes are hereby approved.
Okay, if there's no questions, I'm going to move on. Nothing heard. Thank you, Ms. Sandor. Teacher's Corner. So before anyone starts, I just, on behalf of the executive board, I can't say enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, you know, we're going to improve on communication, but I think we've definitely a lot better than last year. Way better. But it was just little thank you notes on behalf of the parents. But if you guys have any additional information to put out there so that the parents know, have at it.
Okay, so
Don't jump at once.
I'm not trying to. I'll just say, you know, what a year, to say the least. We made through it. You know, work is not done yet, to say the least. There are still a few, you know, students that we have to reach out to make sure that they get their credits, to make sure that they convert that NX to a pass to get that exemption, because as always, it's nice to get a free exemption every once in a while. I'm sure everyone can agree with that. And right now, as far as what's going on in person, you know, we are powering through and appreciating, you know, the final few days that we have left with your students or your kids, I would say. You know, we're just thankful that the year is done, and hopefully next year we can see a brighter day.
yeah, just gonna add on with the grades piece from last month. I had said that for the first semester, if there was any making up to do, that the deadline was June 1st, and that was correct at the time. It's been extended to the end of the year, the 24th, just like the second semester. So with that class sequence that we were talking about before, you know, if you pass the first half of the year and not the second half, no waiver. Vice versa, no waiver. It needs to be both. So there's still time left to do both for anyone that needs it. But, you know, sooner rather than later, so we can actually, you know, look at that work and give the credit where it's due. And thanks for the appreciation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're gonna work on more details on the teacher's corner, because I want to make sure that this highlights exactly what the teachers need and want, so we can continue our partnership with the teachers. Okay, if anybody, does anybody have any questions? If not, we're gonna move on. Nothing heard? All right, just
No
real quick. If
questions,
anybody,
just thanks, right?
go ahead.
I said, not a question, just thanks. It was a crazy 18 months, and I'm hoping that it's behind us now.
Nothing else, I'm gonna move on. So if anybody wants to take some quick snapshots, this is the school website, pupil path, New York City Schools account. Please note, and Ms. Mohammed, you may want to just quickly mention something about the report cards, because I believe on pupil path, it's not gonna update any changes. So before you get upset with your children, seeing that no grades have changed, take a quick look at New York City Schools account. But when does that get updated? I mean, is that something like in 2-3 days from today? Does it get updated, or should the families wait to the end of the month? Ms. Mohammed?
Yes.
In reference to the grades, the final marking period, I know that pupil path won't show any updates. It's supposed to be shown on New York City Schools account as their grades get updated. But when does it get updated? Will it get updated as they're improving their grades, or will it show up towards the end of when it's the last day of school?
So with pupil path, it updates when the teacher updates it, right? But with the New York student, the NY student account, the report card is posted, I think, on the 25th as per the calendar. It will be posted on the news, the My Student account. As far as pupil path, again, that is what the teacher updates. So the information is what the teachers basically update. If the teachers don't update, then it doesn't update. So if you feel that you want to reach out to the teacher and be like, hey, you know, my child said that they submitted this work, then you can be like, okay, so then can you update pupil path, and you can ask them for that.
All right, excellent. Does anybody have any questions? All right, moving on. So just some quick things. I want to definitely thank parents, teachers, the staff for this eventful and successful year. We've had definitely a nice roller coaster of a year, and thankfully we were able to do it together, and we got through it. Thank goodness. I want to state that next year we're looking at possibly putting together some really good fundraising ideas. We're going to look and work on increasing parent-teacher participation. We're also going to add in a few additional PTA meetings every 3 months, starting on September 23rd. Every 3 months, there will be 2 sessions on the same day, from 3 to 5 and then 6 to 8. We're seeing if maybe we can get more participation from families that may work late or teachers that are just coming off from work. We're also going to continue with the virtual meetings as long as it's approved by the DOE and FACE. If they approve it, then we'll continue with virtual. So we're planning on doing that. Most likely it'll be virtual / in person. As we get closer to September, we'll know, but for sure our next meeting will be September 23rd with 2 sessions, 3 to 5 and 6 to 8. You only have to attend 1 session. Senior year parents, congratulations. Now your family gets to move on to the next chapter. I know it's been a kind of a eventful couple of months, but congrats, your children earned it and you guys did as well. And one final piece, I just want to thank our current PTA executive board. Thank you. I appreciate the time and dedication, and welcome my new executive board. We're going to be having some meetings over the summer so that we can go and bring in some new changes and get some fundraising ideas and events going the first day of school. Okay. With that said, New York City DOE school year 2021-2022 calendar was posted, I believe, last month. Here's the information. If you can't see the link, you just go on Google and type in DOE school calendar 2021-2022 and it'll show up. Treasury report, Mr. Sandor.
Sure. So our treasurer's report is fairly brief. We started the month off with $1,178.54. We did have some expenses from our teacher appreciation, our back to school event where we said a little thank you to our teachers, the amount of $260.70. We have been getting contributions through Cheddar Up, and I see that that's on the slide as well. Our contributions this month were about $100, and so our ending balance $1,017.84. I will also say, though, that for those of you who were at the PTA meeting last night, or those of you who were not, it was a fabulous event. Lots of people were there, lots of sales. We actually did make a little bit of money with our sales. We had a tremendous amount of contributions as well, and we also have some leftover items that we will be saving for future events as well. So from a financial standpoint, it will next month look like we made a little bit less money, but in reality, we actually bought a lot of material that we will be able to hold on to and make, hopefully sell later on. So wonderful event last night. The PTA, my PTA colleagues were there. Both handing out materials and also selling snacks and items, very successful. And that's where we are. Any sales from the PTA will be reported in the next meeting because they happened only last night. Other than that, that's the treasurer's report. I see on the page, the Cheddar Up link is there. Of course, please feel free. Tell your friends, family, colleagues, and next door neighbors, Cheddar Up at Lincoln High School PTA dues. Thank you.
And as you can tell, there's 4 ways you can donate any amount, $5, an annual donation, which is a one-time, or a super supporter.
Yep.
The link is also in the chat. If there's no questions, I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Nothing heard, moving on. New business, really the only new business, again, we'll reiterate about orientation that occurred last night. Still haven't quite got an approximation of numbers of how many new students that actually came in the building, but I believe all new students that were coming in, we were close to over 700 students for the 9th grade that are coming in September. And again, I don't know how many people came in person, but I think you guys were forecasting over 200. And I want to say probably you guys came pretty close to that amount because the place was pretty packed last night and was very, very hot.
Did
All right.
I hear that right, Ms. Scott? 700 ninth grader?
A little over 700, I believe. I kept hearing
hear-
one number was 5, and then Mr. Robinson ended up saying over 7.
No,
I
no,
did-
it's, right now it is over 700. We are expecting that number to drop, because usually the numbers get adjusted over the summer. So that number should drop down to into the 500s range. Okay, that's why I think that's where the 500 number comes about. Because last year we were projected like close to 600, and we ended just around, like, once the year started, like at about 500 kids. So the numbers do fluctuate. We're seeing a lot of enrollment, I believe, from in the area. So a lot of like zoned kids are like coming to us right now. So they're zoned for us. The question is, of course, will they pick us or stay with us unless they, find somewhere else, is the question. I think that's where the question marks are going to be right now. But that's great. We had close to that 200 amount last night. And it was hot, even with the fact that we have ACs now in the building.
Those hallways were drenched. It was really hot. This
There's a
question
question. There's a
I
question in
think
the
this
chat.
is for Miss
Yeah.
Mohammed. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. Miss Mohammed, there's a question for
Yes.
you in the chat. When will the awards cards, the gift cards, be distributed to the students and deducted from the
What
balance?
awards?
So I guess
Awards, gift card.
the hope, I guess, and then the grit and resilience. We have gift cards from the PTA. The first part is probably for you, and then the second part is probably for Mr. Sandor, because it's when will it be deducted from the balance?
Yeah, that I have to see when Mr. Robinson. I'm assuming during the awards night would be distributed, but I like the day that they're gonna give the awards. I don't know. Let me.
Yes, I do know that Mr. Robinson was given the criteria and he was going to put it to the committee that works on the recipients. We haven't heard anything further.
Yeah, he didn't tell me anything after either. For the school surveys, I see it also. The school surveys has been extended to the 18th of June. So once that is finished, we only have basically 4% of parents, probably less. Like the highest I think was 4% the last time I got the email, and just only basically like I think it was like 78 parents that filled out that survey. So once the survey closes, we're gonna go ahead and give the $100 gift card. We're gonna
Now, what's the benefit
we're gonna
of this
raffle
school
it.
survey?
Huh?
What's the benefits of this school survey?
Basically New York City Department of Education would like to know how parents view the school, what's going on. It's just to know, are they getting how they feel about the school, so they can like give us feedback and let us know what's going on. And at the end we get a report, and it also helps with potential students. So if you're looking at, like, if you're an 8th grade parent and you're like, oh, I want advice from other parents, they have that available because it's been available on the DOE website, and parents can kind of look it up and be like, okay, so parents feel this way, parents feel that way. And also the students do it, and the teachers also fill it out. And they also, it's just basically a way to kind of rate the school and kind of get an idea of what is available in the school.
Ms. Mohammed, I have a question. You mentioned the awards night. When is that, and what does it look like?
I don't know if there's an awards night. I'm sorry, but I just thought, like, if they're giving out the awards, I thought like for like the seniors or how they're doing it.
There is an awards night.
Yeah, but I don't know which grades it's for. I'm sure.
My understanding, it's all grades in one night, and then the
Okay.
seniors are having their own separate night?
Yeah, awards night is Monday. It's through the Lincoln Media. That's the one I mentioned on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that is happening. It's on Monday night.
That's,
awards
oh, that's the link that you sent, Mr.
Yes,
Capizzo?
yes,
Oh,
that's
I
the
thought it was
channel.
for the sports thing.
No,
I
no, no, no.
completely
That's
zonked out.
where we will also post the awards
Everything.
night.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Thank
All
you.
Lincoln stuff, like anything besides.
Anything Lincoln, like sports,
Yes.
games, awards, it's all going on that YouTube
Right,
channel.
right. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
gonna be posted there. Yeah, it's not just sports,
All right.
guys.
Okay.
That's where also you can do your you could see the awards night that night.
And that awards
Yeah,
night is for
fantastic.
all grades, not just seniors.
Absolutely correct. Yep.
Thank you.
They're gonna do awards for each grade, for the senior stuff. They're gonna do all that stuff, scholarships, you know, if any kids got scholarship awards, any of that stuff will all be happening that night. Correct.
Yeah, because I could have sworn Mr. Hoogenboom spoke about that earlier today and said that there was going to be awards on Monday, but I wasn't sure if it was for all grades or just seniors.
Yeah.
So thank you for clarifying.
No
Yeah,
problem. No problem.
thank you.
Just checking the chat here for 1 second. Surveys, I don't think they could impact funding, but what surveys do is that it allows us to know what's going right and what we need to work on. Usually with surveys, right, we always do surveys for teachers to do the surveys, students do surveys on the teachers themselves, but it's always important for getting parent feedback because it allows other schools to, other parents, incoming parents to know why Lincoln's good or what Lincoln can do better at. So it's always good to do the survey.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why we push for people to do the survey, because we want to know, especially if it's someone that's vocal or not vocal, you'll be part of the statistics.
Yeah, and you know, it looks better when it says like 90% of the parents feel this way, or it's just like 4% of parents doesn't really show the real picture of what Lincoln is about. And you know, that affects the rating, right? So if one parent if 2% of the parents say school is bad and the other 2 says school is good, there's not really a good way to kind of like for parents, for incoming students to kind of get the full picture of what the school is about, you know. And that's why we try to push for all the parents to try to take that survey. One of the things that affect funding is the lunch form. So that is what affects the funding. So when we push for the lunch form, which should be coming out soon, that's what affects our fundings. And that's why we ask for all our parents to fill that out, because we need the fundings that we can get. And they calculate that, the DOE calculates that from how many families we have in our school. So when you start getting the emails for the lunch forms, please just start filling that one out. And also for the survey, because we do want your opinion and we do want to know what we can improve in and what we're doing well in.
And Ms. Meadows, to answer your question from chat, students have been notified. They're getting notifications like as we speak. And if they weren't notified, again, we recommend you to watch. So then you can then see your nomination and stuff. But usually, you know, we always let the students know if they have been nominated. We don't tell them what they're nominated for. We just tell them that they've been nominated and that they should definitely watch to see what award they get. The award ceremony again will be this Monday. I believe it will be after 6 o'clock. It will be scheduled as a premiere. So premiere at 6 o'clock. Might be 6:30 because I believe Mr. Andrews has a game to stream first. So I believe he's doing that first and then he'll premiere it, I think around 6:30. And then it'll be left up. So it's not going to like disappear. It'll premiere and then it'll be on the site. So you can watch it at any time. If you want to watch it live, you can. It's up to you.
I also know that those that have been notified were also asked for pictures. So this way the name of who's being awarded, we can actually see who it is.
right? Because we don't want to use your pupil path picture.
I see that Miss Medina has her hand up. And just so you know, we are at questions and answers time.
Oh, is that why the picture has the question? I was just making sure. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Miss Medina.
Yes, this question is for Ms. Mohammed. So with the survey, you said we're only at 4%, so about 78 parents. Does the login have to be the lowercase f plus the OSIS number? If parents do any kind of other variation, will it be counted?
So every student the parent is allowed to do one survey per student. The DOE, again, like I said, this is from the DOE, it's not from Lincoln. So the DOE has set that every student should have the, when a parent is taking the survey, to put the F and the student ID. But I did have a parent and a couple of parents say that it worked with only the ID. So that's could be a system glitch. But I would try both. Like I would try the capital, I would try the lowercase, and if it's not letting you in, just try the OSIS number and see if it goes through. Meaning, basically, if it doesn't let you go through, that means it's not going to open up. That means it's not reading the information. So you can't take a survey for a student that is not in the system, right? So I would suggest you put in the lowercase and then the capital case F, and then if those two don't work, then try just the OSIS number. And again, the OSIS number is only attached to your child, so there's no repetitive OSIS numbers for other schools. Every student has their own ID number, which is the OSIS number, so it should work.
Thank you. I did not have any issues. I followed the directions with the lowercase f and the OSIS number. And then I was able to get into Opera to enter this for the raffle, the $100, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But is there any way that we can get confirmation if the parents do it any other way than the DOE suggested, if it's actually going through, if it's being counted? Who do we reach out for that?
I don't have a number to reach out to, but what I can tell you is that if you put in that number and you try to take the survey again, it's most likely not going to allow you. But I mean, if you want to reach out to someone to confirm, I would suggest calling 311 to get the number for the survey department. But I mean, it's just that if they told you to put the F lowercase and you got through, then rest assured that it did go through.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions, comments? All right, I do want to say, Ms. Mohammed, Mr. Capizzo, Yanar, thank you. I think Yanar got dragged into our meetings by Mr. Capizzo, but I want to thank you. And you guys looked at each other at the same time. That was awesome. I feel like I was on the Brady Bunch just now. You're on mute.
We went over to each other to look. I had to look over at Yanar's webcam to be like, did they ever think that? Because I don't think that was ever a thought in that time.
But I want to thank you all for attending each and every single one of our meetings. I appreciate it. All of you provided some great insight, and I think the parents appreciate it. Oh, and we have another question that just came in.
And I think
You want to answer that?
I'll take it.
And not just the school year, I think it would also be summer as well, summer and September.
Sure. So, okay. So approximately when will students receive schedules for next school year and Metro cards? So for summer, I mean, right now they're looking at all the kids that have a chance to not pass, right? So first they have to take a look at the summer rising and then the summer school, right? They have to look and see if they can make up either the fall credit or spring credit. And then make it up if they have to do the summer school. And then as far as schedules for next school year, I'll be 100% honest with you. That is not looked at until August. Once summer school's done, then schedules can be done. As far as like where kids go, you know what I mean? Like freshmen, kind of not too bad, able to take care of. Sophomores, okay. Juniors is when it starts like looking at schedules and stuff. And MetroCards, that is always beginning in September. Okay, when September rolls around, when they get their schedules, usually that first week of September, not when they come in. The first day of school is the 13th, so by the week prior is when they'll get their schedule, their new schedule. They'll get their MetroCards and all that. But on Pupil Path, traditionally, Pupil Path is updated over the summer with transcripts, with their grades and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that sort of stuff as far as like when, like if there is a class, usually like within like the end of like August, there's kind of like starting to be a schedule built in place for those kids, and it should be showing an update on Pupil Path. And as far as IDs, usually IDs are done over the summer as well. There's usually like a chance where they have like kind of like for them to come in, and when they get their schedules, usually is when they do their IDs. So the same day that freshmen would do their freshmen would get their schedules is when they can also do their IDs. So that's when all that is done.
Unless they come in during the summer bridge week and it'll get done then.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
I see that Ms. Meadows asked a question. Did you miss it up here at, she was asking about, she said she knows school and the PTA aren't involved with any, but is there any info on the PEBT cards for the school year?
I'm sorry, you came in very, very low.
Yeah, my background is loud, sorry. So Ms. Meadows asked the question in 713. Did you guys catch that one? I missed the part of it. She's asking about.
You know what? I'm sorry, I saw it and I forgot. Unfortunately, I don't have any details on that.
Well,
That is, yeah, I've seen emails going around through the website for EBT, but it only seems to be closing out for those who were getting fundings for the beginning of the fall term. They haven't really posted when the funding was going to come out for the spring term, unless maybe Ms. Muhammad may have seen that.
So no, they haven't posted anything about fundings for this school year. I know for last year they were trying to get that and put that out to the families, and families were having a hard time because they didn't get the money, but I didn't hear anything for this school year yet.
So if I could chime in, everyone. So there is a webinar going on, and I don't know if this is maybe what Ms. Meadows was referring to, if she was aware or wasn't aware, but there's an informational webinar, going on June 16th from 4:30 to 6. I actually just sent it to you, Ms. Scott, like just when I saw, before as a question or whatever, I just found it. So I can try to put the link in the chat. Is there any way that we can get this flyer? I'm gonna put it in there. If this flyer can be put on our website, are we able to do that, Ms. Muhammad? I don't know.
Just send me the flyer, okay. And I have to see. Is it DOE?
It's from so it says the Joint Community Food Advocates and Kate McKenzie, Director of the Mayor's Office of Food Policy, to learn about pandemic EBT, PEBT in New York City for the 2020-2021 school year. We provide an overview of this new wave of PEBT and answer frequently asked questions. And I do note that students that are, I believe that there's funds going to be given to families for students that went remotely and weren't remote. So either way, but I don't quote me on that, but there's like a registration. It's in English and in Spanish so far, but I'll put the link in the chat. Just give me a sec.
Please.
So you can decide if I don't know, but I did just last minute found this information, which is very handy.
If you can email it to me, that would be great. I'll look at it and see and get approval if we can put it up on the website. And then I see that someone wants, Miss Marie wants it to be posted.
I'm gonna do it right now.
And who do parents contact when school is closed?
You mean like in the summer?
Yep, over the summer, say for whatever reason, they're looking over and the school's closed and they see that there's an issue with the report cards, even though the report cards may have posted already, but perhaps they were waiting for grades to be updated or had questions about summer school and they don't
They
know.
can contact me or Mr. Robinson. We are going to be working in the summer, so they can go through us. I just don't know what our schedule in the summer is going to look like, but we're here in the summer.
You
So
can
is
also,
there-
you can also get it, maybe also do the guidance counselors as well. Just
Okay,
say,
so
start the conversation.
there will be personnel, they'll be able to call the school or just email?
Yeah, the school's going to
Yeah,
be
our
open because
school-
we're going to have summer
Our school's
break
gonna
and
be
stuff.
open this time around. Usually we're over at Grady, but because we got ACs this year, we can hold some stuff in school now.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, nothing heard. Our next meeting will be September 23rd, 2021. Again, we'll have 2 sessions. You only have to attend one, 3 to 5 and 6 to 8. And we're gonna look at having virtual. I won't know if we'll be able to have in person until we get closer to September, but virtual will definitely be occurring. All right, if no one has any questions, concerns, or comments, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of the summer.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good summer.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great summer.
Thank you.